Hey everybody, I'm Juliana and you're watching Sprocket Girl, and with this channel I want to inspire women to embrace stepping outside their comfort zone and challenge themselves on a mountain bike. In today's video, I will be reviewing my bike trainer, which is made by Feedback Sports and called the Omnium Overdrive Bike Trainer. It has come in very handy here in the last couple of months because it's been extremely snowy here in Colorado and the trails have almost had no time to dry out between snow dumps. So we've had very little opportunity to actually go outside and ride. So it's been great for me to be able to train inside on my trainer and stay in shape in this way. So this trainer is particularly cool because it's fairly light and it packs down into a very small size that actually fits inside of this portable carry bag right here. The other cool thing about it is that it has the so-called internal progressive resistance, which basically means that the faster you pedal on the trainer, the higher the resistance gets, which tries to kind of mimic the experience that you would have outside with resistance on the road and wind resistance. Since I am an ambassador for Feedback Sports, I also have one of their bike stands, which I use a lot and which you might have spotted in some of my previous videos. It's something that I'm going to be reviewing as well sometime in the near future, so keep your eyes out for that. And I left links to both items in the description below if you're interested in more details. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the Omnium Overdrive Bike Trainer. Okay, so let's take a look at how we set it up. It really folds down super small, which is great, especially if you want to store it somewhere and you don't necessarily have the room to keep it unfolded all the time. So we just have to release it here and unfold it. Oops. And then these legs just kind of come out here. Make sure it's secured. There we go. Okay, so once this is unfolded, you're going to have to adjust the distance between the rollers and the front of the trainer by adjusting this length here. And that will depend on the distance between your fork on your bike and the center of your rear wheel. So you'll just have to play around with that a little bit to find the right fit. Obviously, you'll want your rear wheel to be sitting centered on these rollers back here. So it might take a little bit of fiddling around in the beginning, but you'll figure out what the right distance is and then you'll just lock this in place. Okay, so depending on how your fork connects to your front wheel, so for example, with a quick release skewer or a through axle, you're going to be using different components that are provided along with the trainer. In my case, on my mountain bike, I have a through axle, so I'm going to be using that actual through axle as well as these black end caps that bridge the gap between my fork and the tube on the trainer. All right, next step is to remove my front wheel. And remember, once your front wheel is off, don't grab your front brake because otherwise you're going to have a very hard time getting your brake pads back apart and you're going to have to use a special tool, a brake pad spreader, to do that. Okay, so once the fork is secure, let's make sure that the rear wheel is directly between the two rollers. And like I said earlier, you just do that by adjusting the distance between the front of the trainer and the rollers. It's super easy, just takes a little finagling here. So let's do that. Make sure it's nice and centered. And then lock it into place. All right, everything is set up now, so I'm gonna go put on my bike clothes and hop on my trainer for a little spin. All right, let's check it out. so some of the things I really love about this trainer are that it's super easy to set up, as you could see in the video, and also that it's very light and portable and packs down to fairly small size, so you can bring it with you if you're going somewhere, or you can store it somewhere out of sight. I also really love that you can put a variety of different types of bikes on it, so if you have a commuter or a mountain bike or whatever it is that you want to put on there, they have all the components so that you can adjust it to your bike, which is great. I also love the internal resistance, which makes for a great, fairly realistic experience. In my case with my mountain bike, I also adjusted the gears to change the resistance a little bit, but it's really nice to have that within the trainer as well. And also, it really gives you a great workout, especially if the weather outside is bad or the trails are muddy and you just want to get some cardio in. Alright everyone, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. And if you want to support women's mountain biking, consider telling some of your female friends about how awesome mountain biking is and maybe point them to my channel. And maybe even consider hitting the subscribe button if you want to get notified every time I post new content. Alright, bye for now.